Men's Mental Health Awareness Month Special. So how is it going with your mental health? Are you experiencing mental peace? You can share your story here if you are going through the hardest moments in your life. Maybe you can get some help. If someone has overcome this by any practical and easy means, please share your valuable lessons so that others can fight too. I, a 25-year-old male, have been through this stage and am still going. I know how hard it is to deal with stress, anxiety, uneasiness, and more. It is very hard to cope with everything at once. I lost my hair, my charm, my smile, and my prime time has been wasted due to some people. Now, at last, I have decided to fight legally against them no matter what. They must know the pain I have endured. I just hope that everything goes well and pray the same for everyone who is going through hard times. Peace. Story 1. I am doing well. Ever since I was given a terminal diagnosis and retired at age 49 on the disability support pension in Australia, I have found peace and contentment. I have far less to worry about, and all concerns about the future have melted away. Owning our home gives me confidence that my wife and adult children will live comfortable lives. Story 2. I have had some really good days in the past month, but also some really bad ones. It is frustratingly inconsistent, and I feel drained. I just want to be happy and in a place where I am mentally and emotionally stable. Story 3. Oh my God, so bad. At this point, I can't help but laugh at how terrible everything is. The only reason I'm still here is that my wife and children need me. Story 4. My mental health was severely challenged during lockdown, and I have never fully recovered. I am constantly unhappy, perpetually frustrated, and quick to anger. I am also finding it increasingly difficult to maintain control. I used to be quite reserved, but I now show aggression towards others openly, which has impacted my job. Story 5, gentlemen. I see that many of you are not happy these days. Me too. So let all of us who read this do something that reminds us we are not alone. If you read this, take a deep breath. Be thankful to yourself for making it to this point. Imagine how we would talk with one another and share our experiences if we could pause the game and go into the lobby to refresh our souls, then go back in with new courage. Maybe this life is not a video game, but in our minds we can cherish our accomplishments. Close your eyes for a minute and take the time to ask yourself what you could do for yourself. The world is hard enough sometimes, so be a friend to yourself. Story 6. Honestly, I am struggling. My wife told me 2 weeks ago, out of the blue, that she wants a divorce. I had no idea, no argument or anything. I have been staying at a relative's place while they are away for the past 2 weeks and have never felt so lonely. I cannot believe this is happening. My whole world just crumbled in an instant. Story 7. As you get older, you begin to solve problems more silently, discarding your emotions regardless of how sad it is. Story 8. I would say I am finding my emotions are changing. I am getting angry more easily with people trying to take advantage of me. Also, my focus is terrible, really bad, but I do not know how to change that. Story 9. Finally old enough to not care. Also, I have noticed that despite not wanting to be, I am really sensitive to seasons and caffeine. It is bright and warm outside, and I am doing better because of it. I ease up on the coffee and receive benefits from actually feeling rested after sleeping. So I am doing fine. Story 10. I, a 35-year-old female/male, spent the last 6 years in psychosis and am now slowly recovering from all that entails. By proxy, I am doing better than during those 6 years. I am now focusing on my physical health, knowing my mental health will continue to improve until I am normal again over the next few months. Story 11. It is difficult. Honestly, I was pretty cheerful until about 25 years old when I started to feel very anxious. Now I am 26, and it still persists. Story 12. Nothing new about divorce, mate. That's how many women do it. My wife did the same, out partying with friends 3 to 4 nights a week. She walked in and said, "I'm leaving. I don't love you anymore." Okay. We haven't spoken since 40 years ago. Story 13. Struggling mentally, financially, and emotionally but still doing things. Staying active outside, paying the bills somehow and holding up. Story 14. I travel and feel very happy. When I return to my home country, it is on a steady downward spiral, and I am just counting the days until I can leave faster. Story 15. Not great, but I will live. I do not really feel like I have a purpose now, and I am just existing. I was my mother's caregiver, but she passed away in January. Since then, I am just not sure of anything anymore. The only reason I have not harmed myself is because I do not want to hurt my younger sister. I do not know. Story 16. I will say this. I am 19, and with modern medicine along with some stubborn lifespans on both sides of the family, the very fact that I could be here until 90 feels like a mean joke. Story 17. The world makes you feel like you are all alone sometimes. I really have to remind myself we are all in this together on the planet called Earth. I am in my early 30s and undergoing a major transition in my life. Managing my finances, taxes, debt, what I want out of a relationship, how I want to live, and also focusing on health. I think we have to keep inching forward in the smallest of steps. Otherwise, everything will overwhelm us. Sometimes we need perspective. 242 people just died on a flight. Would you rather live your life now or be a passenger on that Air India flight? At least we can experience life, be with our family and friends, listen to music, laugh, and cry. This is a challenging part of my life now. It is a period of transition, and I will get to the other side. This is what the universe does to keep us moving. Keep your head held high, meditate, go for walks, exercise, be with your closest people, and do not self-isolate. Story 18. I work 10 to 16 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I come home to a dead bedroom and the inability to do anything, go anywhere, or buy anything because rent, groceries, and utilities have doubled in the last 5 years. I can't find a cheaper place to live because wealthy people started a bidding war about 3 years ago on houses, so everything is absolutely unattainable, and rent just keeps climbing. On my days off, I enjoy activities like doing all the housework or helping my elderly parents with theirs. Sometimes I even have to ask my parents for money because suddenly another bill doubles for no reason, draining the meager amount I had saved and then some. Sometimes I get the opportunity to drive a car I dislike to my parents' house and look at the truck I loved that is inoperable and will hopefully be repaired someday. I remember a time when I could afford a vehicle I actually liked before the 2020s ruined that because apparently greedy people wanted 3 times what cars are actually worth. I also stress about how the government suddenly decided I owe them a month's worth of pay for this past year and the year before because I made less money than in previous years. The insurance that I never used, which didn't cover much anyway and had a high deductible of roughly 1/3 of my yearly income, was said to fit my income but was somehow too good at the end of the year, so I owe even more. At least now I have company insurance, so I am not hit as hard by the government. But I do have one of the most dangerous jobs out there, so there is a possibility that I get removed from this modern slavery or, if I'm really lucky, get some kind of settlement. So I guess all in all, it's not as bad as it could be. Story 19. Overweight. Some days are really difficult. I do not have a lot of money. I have associates who appreciate me. I draw as a hobby. I struggle with depression and self-esteem. Sometimes I feel good, sometimes bad. Story 20. I struggle every so often. Change is a big trigger. The last 3 weeks for me were utter hell. I started a new job, and as soon as I was done with the day, I just felt stress and a massive knot in my stomach nonstop. Every day. It got to the point where I just didn't want to wake up. I would normally smoke a joint or have a beer, but weed was frying my head more, and I have been sober now for 11 months. I didn't realize how much my drinking allowed me to cope with work. This is my first sober job. I finally felt normal again on Tuesday. I know the bad will eventually pass. It's just really hard during those times. Story 21. I think I am like a backwards version of those, "How are you?" Really? People, because while I may feel bad, overwhelmed, and even depressed at times, those feelings are superficial. Deep down, I know I am fine and that I can handle everything that is thrown my way on my own. If I cannot, I know that I still have a great support system behind me. Story 22. Like a dumpster fire. But no one cares that it is on fire, and many people have water and fire extinguishers. Also, people keep dumping stuff in the fire under the premise of, I just need your help. And can't you do this for me? I am sure lots of men will relate, but every woman I have ever talked to has said the same few lines. I went to a therapist, I talked to my friends, I took some antidepressants, and now I am all better once I go out every week and have my wine and food. That is terrific, but I would like, for once, to not be sidelined in a conversation when talking to women about mental health and important topics. Every time the issue comes up, it feels like things are turned around and I am the bad guy because I am not doing enough work, and the problem becomes solely about the other person and how my problem affects them. Story 23. The urge to conquer the world and govern it with a velvet fist instead of the clowns currently in power has faded. So yes, I would say I am doing pretty well. Story 24. Pretty terrible. 33 years old for context. I have no direction in life. No interests, no passion for anything. I get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner with my parents, play games for a bit, cry myself to sleep, and repeat every day. I don't really have a reason to change any of it because there is nothing I want or care about. I am just basically waiting for my parents to pass away so I can follow, but that might be another 20 years. I am not really looking forward to tomorrow, let alone the next 2 decades. It is going to be a daily struggle to not just end it early. Story 25. I am a 39-year-old male. I wasn't aware that what I was going through since grade school was depression and anxiety. In my late 20s, I realized that was what was happening. 2 years ago, I finally decided to start medication. I tried 3 different antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications over 2 years, but none of them helped. The doctor said, "I think they are helping. You just won't notice until you stop taking the medication." 2 months ago, my Medicaid insurance was dropped without notice. So, I have been off the medication for 2 months and feel exactly the same. Depressed all the time, afraid to leave the house because I dislike people. I fear walking into public places because someone might try to talk to me, so I rarely go anywhere. It doesn't help that I am at my wit's end trying to find a job without a car and living far from any businesses. I have to ask for financial help from everyone I know just to keep my kids fed, and I have nearly exhausted all future help. I am struggling, and it's affecting my kids as well. All I wanted was medication to make me feel better, but the doctors I have seen seem unhelpful. I don't really know where to go from here. Story 26. I have been job hunting since the new year, looking for a remote position to help me move to a new city. It has been a difficult challenge due to how poor the job market is, but the journey itself has helped me develop better coping skills for my mental health. The first half was tough, but now I am much calmer and closer to how I was before 2020, which has been my goal since recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic. The rejections and lack of responses are still discouraging, but they no longer affect my life as much. Mentally, I feel stronger than ever, and I have noticed continuous improvement. I am focusing on relaxing more and learning to accept the good things that come with time, rather than feeling frustrated about my past or wanting things from my future that I do not yet have. Story 27. And pretty good if I am objective. Compared to previous years, this year I can say that I genuinely love myself, something I have never felt in 10 years. Little by little I discover traumas that without realizing it are limiting me. Just as little by little I learn to be consistent and show myself more vulnerable. The fight continues, so to speak. The problems do not go away, and I do not think they will go away. They will only transform, but I am convinced that I will be able to overcome them. Story 28. I am a 25-year-old male. Not so great, but I started therapy, and I am planning to go back to my normal schedule, eat healthy again, and cut energy drinks from my diet. I am worried about the future, mostly finances. I feel empty, but at least I am aware of it. I suspect I might have a personality disorder, but at this point, I am not sure, so I will talk with my therapist about it. Also, I am a little ashamed because of my feminine vibe. I am short, skinny, and I do not look my age. I started dressing more elegantly. When I talk, I do not shout. My voice is pretty much monotone. I feel fragile, especially around other men who are into sports. I try to be nice and helpful. I do not do that to be a nice guy or to seek attention. I do not know, this feels so stupid. Story 29. This year, I, 32, male, Finally decided to seek help from a doctor for my mental health and poor sleep. For most of my life past early youth, I slept only 3 to 4 hours a night, often with multiple days of no sleep in a row. I am now on bupropion and a sleeping medication, and my life feels much better. I still cry often and sometimes experience hopeless thoughts and sadness, but I also feel happy at times. I am honestly frustrated with myself that a set of affordable pills was the only thing standing between me and a relatively normal life. I always believed this level of sadness was normal and that everyone experienced it, but my wife finally convinced me otherwise. The suffering is not worth it. Please, men, go to the doctor and express your feelings. My depression score went from 24 to 9 in 2 months. I once thought I was weak for needing medication to combat feelings of emptiness and sadness, but now I feel stronger than ever. I wish I had done this when I was 20 and in college. I wish I had done this when I got married. The best time to address your mental health was yesterday. The second best time is now. Sometimes you do need medication. I am glad I sought help. Story 30. I don't understand this obsession with mental health nowadays. Just get on with it. Most people label as mental health just the standard day-to-day challenges of life. Your girlfriend dumped you, it's mental health. You're short of cash, mental health. At some point, you need to develop resilience and learn to deal with life not always being perfect. That will help you much more than a victim mentality. I understand some people do have mental health struggles. I get it. It can happen. But mental health, in my view, is the most overdiagnosed condition on the planet. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.